Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Now, we're gonna pick up where we left off in the previous video, which was setting up our platform layer on Mac. Now, in the last video, I'd say that we're gonna do a little bit of cleanup. However, I've decided that we still need a few more stuff here, or a few more capabilities. Let me put it that way, right? So let me just run it to show you guys where we at this current moment. So if I run this, oh well, it's gonna take a little bit of time because I just opened Xcode before I started this video. So yeah, the application is taking a bit of time. Yeah, our window is right here, right? So our window currently can be resized, but you notice that when we resize it, it comes all the way down there, which is not what we want, right? And then the other thing is we want an ability to be able to remove this title, as well as remove the these background title thingy for the background, right? And also we want the ability to be able to also hide the cursor. As you can see at this moment, whether I'm inside the window or outside the window, our cursor is visible. We want the ability to be able to hide the cursor if we so choose to. And we also want the ability to change the cursor shape, right? Because at this moment we have this default cursor, but however we want the ability to be able to change the cursor shape as we want. For example, if I put my mouse at the edge, you notice that it changes the cursors, right? It changes it to a different icon so that we can basically drag, or it shows that this icon is for dragging or whatever, right? So we want the ability to do that within the window itself as well, right? We want our engine to have that functionality as well. Like, hey, what if we implement a UI system and we want to change the cursor, right? So we want to do that as well for our mini engine. So those are the features that we're going to add in this video. And the other thing that I want to add is support for key presses. But we're not really going to set up the input system just quite yet, but we're going to set up the foundation to allow it to work, right? So we're going to handle, I'm going to show you how to handle key presses such as shift, control, option key, and command key on Mac, because when you click them, normally they don't really get registered as key presses, they get registered as modifier keys. So we're going to handle that as well, and then just log them out to the console just so you can see that yes, those keys are being pressed and so forth, right? So those are the things that we're going to do in this video. Hopefully I can do that in one video, but we'll see. So let's get back to coding. So let's get back to Xcode. Now, like I said, for those who haven't watched the first video, the only reason why I'm working at Xcode is because of the platform layer, and as you guys can see, it's written in Objective-C. That's the only reason why I'm using Xcode. However, once we're done with this platform layer, setting it up, we're gonna move back to C, because this engine that we're building is built in C. So everything else will be coded in C. The Vulkan renderer will be coded in C, and then everything else. So it is a C-based project and not an Objective-C based project, just in case you are still wondering why am I using Objective-C. So I'm only using Objective-C because I have to when it comes to the macOS platform layer. But once we're done with the platform layer, we can move back to using pure C, and then we can set up everything else in C. Yeah, and then in the future when we work with Metal, we might just have to come back to Objective-C, but that's not really what I want, because I actually have my own. Let me just do this real quick. It's fine. We'll deal with the Metal stuff when we get there. But I do have my own Metal library, which is written in C, that we might make use of. I don't know, but we'll see when we get there. Okay. So anyway, let's get back to the video. So the things that we want to do is we wanted to add cursor update functionality, right? So how am I gonna do that? So here we have flags for what is this for? I'm trying to remember what we did last time. Oh yeah, this is for adding custom borders, and custom window styling, I mean. Yeah, this G is throwing me off. But anyway, yeah, so we want to do the same for our cursor. So I'm gonna set up the cursor related things. So how do I want to do this? Do I want to do an enum based? Should it be enum though? Yeah, it should be an enum. So we can do enum for the cursor shapes. So yeah, let's just do a type def enum, and then we're gonna say, how do I want to call this? We have G window style flags, G window cursor shape. Do I wanna? Do I wanna say G window cursor shape like this? Or do I just want to like have cursor shape like this? Thinking. Yeah, I think I'll just drop the G window for this one, because I feel like it should just be, I don't know, but I'll just keep it like this for simplicity. However, you guys can do whatever you want, right? It is an educational video nonetheless, so if you guys want to change it to something else, you are more than welcome to do that. So yeah, so let's just fill out this cursor shape struct, with the different types of cursors that we can have. So the default cursor that I know of is an arrow. So we're gonna type in arrow here, and this shape is the default shape that you see here. This big ass arrow, that is the default shape for the cursor. So it's called an arrow, and I'm gonna just put that as a 0 here. Give that a 0 integer, and then from there, let me just copy this like this. And let me not do it like this. Let's do something like this. I don't know how many we need, but I'm going to try and remember them on top of my head. So we have an arrow, and then you see the current cursor that we have right now in Xcode. I believe that is called an I-beam. I could be wrong, but because it's shaped like an eye, I do believe that it is an I-beam. So we're going to have an I-beam, and then we're going to have we have a pointing. Yeah, I'm gonna have a pointing hand. Let me put that as a capital letter, pointing hand, and then we're gonna have a crosshair. Crosshair, for those who play first-person shooter games, probably know what a crosshair is. And then we're gonna have one for dragging. Then we're gonna have one for dropping, like you drag something, and then there should be like an icon that changes to allow you to show you that, hey, you can actually drop this item in here. So it's drag, and then I think you can drop it. Yeah, we can just use a can drop. So shape can drop after dragging, and then let's say you drag, and then you drag into an area that doesn't really allow an item to be dropped. So we can have like a forbidden, like, yeah, how do you spell forbidden? A forbidden, forbidden. You spell it like this? Forbidden? I don't know, man. Forbidden. Yeah, we can have like a forbidden crosshair. Cursor shape, and then we're gonna have this one. Let me just run this window real quick. We're gonna have this cursor that I want to show you real quick. Am I running? Oh yeah, I can't run because my enum is not okay just yet. So let's just comment everything out to show you what I want. Are we running now? Yeah, we're running. So the other cursor shape that I want is this one, this vertical drag and the horizontal drag cursor shapes, right? We want those as well. So yeah, so let me stop running that, and I believe we can call those vertical splits and horizontal splits, right? So we can rename this one so we don't have the same thing. V split, V split, and we can have H split, right? So I believe after that we can then just have like a cursor shape max, because this starts at 0 and then it goes all the way down here. So for example, I don't know if I want to explicitly say 1 here and then say 2 and then say 3, 4, because the moment I put 0 here, the computer will automatically just add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all the way here, and then we'll have like a max count. So I don't know if I really want to keep track of these myself, but now since I've already done it, let's just continue. You guys can remove it if you want, as long as you have the first one at 0. Yeah, then I guess it's fine. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then this one should be 8, and then this one will be 9 automatically. So yeah, but if you add more here, let's say you add another cursor shape, I don't know, that looks like a banana or something, and you don't give it a number, and then it will get a 9, and then this one will be 10. So yeah, in case you didn't really know about that, but anyway, yeah. So again, for those who are still new and are wondering what is this, well, this is a feature in C23, similar to how it is in C++, and some other languages. So you can only use this if you are using C23, and if you're only following along with this video from this video, and you want to get that as well, just go down here on Xcode, and just search compiler flags, I believe it was. Compiler flags, yeah, and then just give it the C2X compiler flag, and then you'll just tell Xcode that hey, I want to use C23 here for this project, and you'll be fine. So anyway, back to where we were. I believe that was in platform.h. Yeah, so we have the window style flags and the cursor shape. So now that we have the different types of cursors that we can have, I believe we can add a function or a method to handle that as well. So within our window management stuff here, we can do platform, if I can just spell platform window, let's do show, well, yeah, let's do show cursor first, right? And then we can do window hide cursor, I guess, show, and we can hide our cursor. What else can we do? We can set the cursor shape, so void platform window set cursor shape, something like that, and then we can pass in the shape that we want to update our cursor with. So in this case, we can say cursor shape, we take in a cursor shape, and just say shape there, and platform window show cursor, hide cursor. Do I really have to pass in the window? Because the way that this works, I'm trying to remember if I really need to pass in a window for this, but no, actually, do we? No, we don't actually, because the way that we handle this in Objective-C, we use something like, we say NS cursor, I believe, yeah, and then we can say hide, something like this, right? And then it will hide the cursor, right? And then to show it, you just say unhide, something like that, right? But we'll get to that when we implement this. So we don't really need to pass in a window for that. Yeah, so however, you could pass in a window if you wanted to add your own logic. Instead of hiding it globally, you can just hide it for that specific window. But for the purposes of the series, we're just gonna do things just enough so that you can get the idea of how to expand on it on your own. But yeah, so we have the ability to show the cursor, hide the cursor, and then set the cursor shape. And then I don't know if I should put in like a void platform update cursor, because that should be updated automatically. How do I want to handle this? You know what, we'll just add one, Even though I feel like it should just be internal. But I'll just add it. Platform window update cursor, because I don't know. Yeah, maybe some functionalities might need us to update it explicitly. So let's just add it there. Yeah, let's just add it there. And I believe we can also just set this to be void. And I actually want to move this up like that. So we can show, hide, and update the cursor, and then set the cursor shape. So do not confuse the update cursor with the ability of actually changing the cursor shape. Okay. So once we have this, so we can show the cursor, hide the cursor, update the cursor, set the cursor shape. What else do we want to do? We want to well, actually, let's handle this first. So let's go into our platform macOS file here, and I realized that we're missing a few things here, but we'll come back to that. So firstly, let's go back here, copy these functions, show cursor, hide cursor. So I'm going to copy this, and actually keep the order. So window hide. So let's look for window show, window hide, which is right over here. Paste them guys over here, and then I am just going to multi-select here and then just open up these guys, and I realized that it just moved that guy over there, which is not what I wanted, but oh well. It's fine. So let's see, who do you want to start with? Let's start with the easy guys. So if I do this and I say ns cursor, and then I say unhide here, it will unhide that. And then if I do ns cursor hide like this, it'll essentially hide the cursor. So to test this, I'm gonna run this just so you can see how it runs at first. So we have our window, and you can see the cursor is visible, right? But let's say after we create our window, we show our window. Let's do platform window hide cursor, right? So we hide our cursor after we create our window, and you'll notice that we don't have a cursor, and it's currently hiding the cursor globally, even though we're outside of the window itself. So yeah, you can see if I move down to the dock here, our cursor is visible, but the moment I move out the dock, it's invisible. So it did it globally, and it's not constrained within the window itself. However, we can put some logic to only hide the cursor when we are inside the window, but we'll deal with that another day, right? Because yeah, we'll deal with that another day. So I'm gonna close that. Now that you know that this is working, so we can hide the cursor. Also, let me just check. We hide the cursor, and then we show the cursor. So let's see if showing actually works. So it's gonna hide it and then show it, and yes, it does work. So we good. Okay, sweet. So we know those two functions are working, and that's how to use them. The next one that we want to do is we want to update the cursor. How do I want to do this? Or let's do this one first. I feel like this one is easy. So we're gonna take in the cursor, and then we're gonna set the cursor to that shape, right? So how do I want to handle this? Do I want to keep a state to it, or do I just want to like let me see cursor shape. How do I want to do this? I could keep like a global state to this situation. Let's see. How do I want to do this? Because when I change the cursor, I need to basically store it somewhere, right? As well, to keep track of what cursor we have. So I don't know. I did this in my previous engine, but the problem is I don't want to look at it, because I want to do as much as I can remember from my head. Not that I have to anyway, but it's just good exercise to remember how these things are done. So you know what? Let's go to where our global platform state is. So we have platform state here, which is right here. I don't know if I want to keep the cursor at the window level or at the platform level, but because when we hide our cursor, it's happening globally on the platform level, I guess we can keep it here, right? So let's do a cursor shape, and then we can say cursor shape like this, right? We can keep track of that there. Make sense? Yeah, it makes sense, because also when we are updating the cursor, we're not really passing in the window, right? Isn't it? When we're setting it, we're not passing in the window. So it kind of makes sense to just leave it at the platform level. However, again, you guys can customize this to work at the window level, per window, and all of that stuff. But we're just gonna take the easy route for now, and go with that, right? So, yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so let's see. How do I want to do this? We want to take in the shape, so let's see. So we're gonna have to do a sanity check though, because we can't just call this function. So if state, did I call this? No, I think I called it iState. If state exists, right, meaning that, let me go back up there, meaning that this guy is present, then we can do whatever we want to do, right? Because the cursor state is within that. So we can say cursor shape equals to shape, right? So if, let me see, if statement requires expression of scale, that's our platform state. If statement, oh, you know why? Wait, what? Statement requires expression of a scalar type. Struct platform state is invalid. Interesting. Let me see something interesting. have I ever had that issue before? Let me see what happens if I put a pointer there. I guess it only works with pointers, right? Yeah, it only works with pointers. Okay, all right. So I guess my sanity check won't work there, because this will always be active anyway, because it's not a pointer. So every time we run our program, this will get created for us. Memory will be allocated, so it will exist. So technically, me checking that it exists or not is pointless, I guess. Yeah, but then you get the idea, right? So you guys can do the sanity check if your internal state was a pointer, but because we decided not to use a pointer for now, I guess we don't have to because it will already exist. But yeah, right? Yeah, weird. Okay, so let's now get to the meaty part of this. So again, I was gonna do a sanity check in here as well, but because it's not a pointer, it will always be in existence, we can skip the sanity check stuff and we can start up with our switch statement. And we want to switch, what do we want to switch? Oh yeah, we want to switch this guy. I get it. Okay, yeah, we saved the shape. We took the shape from here, then we saved it in this state, right? So what we want to do is we want to switch, right, on that state. So we want to say iState dot cursor shape, right? We want to basically go over whatever this shape is, and then basically update our cursor based on whatever this shape is. Okay, so our first case will be, let me come here actually, up here, where is it, this guy. So I'm just gonna copy this temporarily just so that I can have a better experience doing this. So I'm gonna get rid of these guys. I wish I could just automatically delete this. I know in Vim you can like record like a macro or something like that, and then have these automatically removed for you. But this is not Vim, unfortunately. It's Mac. So what I want to do here is I want to select this here, and then I just want to say case. Now I think it should be here. Yeah, so case. And I'm trying to remember if this guy comes here or if it comes at the end here. So I want to see something. If I can do this. Yeah, it won't worry. See, the other one bleeds over here. But I don't know. I don't really know Xcode that well. So I'm just gonna put the beam here. This symbol over there. And we'll put one here, and I believe I skipped these two. Sorry about that. Then add these ones here as well. Yeah, so save that, and then we can basically I think I'm gonna put a break here, and then because of that I'll just duplicate it for all of these guys as well, like so. Break, and then we should have like a default one for when we basically don't have anything. But here we're really not gonna have or do anything because we're handling every single thing. So yeah, right? Is that good practice though? But yeah, but this will always I guess we could just stick with the default. So we can, yeah, I guess we can implement this. It's fine. So how do we want to set the cursor? So this is very, very, very easy. And I believe I had to do just the same way as I'm hiding the cursor and stuff. I have to make use of NS cursor. Okay. But instead of just using one square bracket, I use two square brackets, where the first square bracket is gonna hold our NS cursor, if I remember, and then we are then going to essentially give it the type of cursor that we want, and then we're gonna give it. Let me test this first. Yes, here we go. Good that Xcode does have IntelliSense, so we will definitely be able to do that and test that if I'm doing it correctly. And yes, I am. So what we're saying here is saying, hey, NS cursor, set the cursor to this. Okay. Yeah, the syntax is not really nice, but yeah, that's basically what we're saying here. So we're saying set the cursor to be arrow cursor. Okay. And I'm just gonna duplicate this. And what is the iBeam equivalent? iBeam, yes, iBeam cursor. See how simple that is, working in Xcode, because you have the IntelliSense for Objective-C. If I was using VS Code, I wouldn't be able to do that. So that's why we're building the platform layer in Xcode for IntelliSense purposes. All right, and then for the pointing hand, what do we need? I think we can just say pointing hand cursor, and yes. And then for the crosshair, I believe we can also just say crosshair. Yes, sir. So this is very simple, right? It's very, very simple. It's very not complicated. And then for the dragging, I believe this one is where it gets different, because we don't have drag copy cursor. Drag copy returns a cursor indicating that the current operation will result in a copy action. Well, that's not what we're doing in it. So I guess we don't have the drag cursor that we want, but we have a drag link cursor. Returns a cursor indicating that the current operation will result in a link action. Okay, but I don't know. I don't think we need those for now. But I do know that the one that we're looking for is a close hand drag icon, because when you drag something, it's like when you click on something and then you drag it, you're gonna have like that hand grab icon. I wish I could demonstrate that. It's just that the OS doesn't really do that. But anyway, it's fine. You'll see what I'm talking about soon when we test this out. Close hand, and then we can do can drag, can drop, which is just like an open hand cursor. And then the forbidden one, I believe we can just say forbidden. For forbidden? No? What was it? If it's not forbidden, then what was it? What is it? Forbidden. It's a forbidden operation. So let's see. Yeah, here it is. Forbidden, not allowed cursor. Yeah, there we go. And then the V splits, let's see. For the V splits, guys, I think vertical. Yeah, for vertical layout. Was it this though? No, I don't think so. That's an I-beam for vertical layout. What we want is for resizing. So I think it has to do with resizing. Left, right, up, down, left, right. Yeah. So vertical is left and right, isn't it? V split. And horizontal is for left and right. Oh yeah. No. Left and right. Left and right is horizontal, and then up and down is vertical. So we want the up and down one, this one. And then for the horizontal one, we want the resize left and right one, like so. And that's it. And then just for safety measures, I don't really think we'll ever hit the default one, but anyway, just in case we do, it will just be the arrow cursor. Okay, sweet. Yeah, so we basically have our cursor functions up. So we've tested these two work. Now we need to test that this one works and whether or not this one works. So how will we do that? So where do we actually even call these? So for testing purposes, I'm gonna set the cursor to something different other than the arrow. So after creating a window, I'm gonna say platform set cursor to cursor shape. Let's just select a random one. I don't know. Let's do one that's, let's do a crosshair, I guess, and save this. And when we run this, nothing will happen. Our cursor will still be a default cursor. That's because we're not really updating the cursor. So I just wanted to run it just to show you that you still need certain steps for this to actually kick in and actually work. So you can see that our cursor is still the default cursor, just even though we call this function. The reason why it's not updating is because this function, all it does, it just takes this and it just updates the global state of the cursor that we have, right? In here is where we basically checking from the global state what cursor is actually active or is actually set, and then we telling the operating system that hey, we want to update to that cursor. So this function is what's actually doing all the work, right? So we want to call that in let me go up here, let me see, where do we need to call this? Content view, where do we handle all our inputs and stuff? I think it's in the content view. Yeah, I'm also now realizing that we actually need more stuff here. Let's see. I think we do have a cursor update function here, and yes, we do. And that's what we want to call that. So platform update cursor, like so. And I'm noticing that we're saving window here. And again, I guess we can rename that. We can say OS, but it's fine. It's fine. It's up to you guys, right? You guys can customize this however you want anyway. Because it's no longer Windows specific, but it will in the future. So I guess it's fine. We can leave it like this. But yeah, so update cursor. I'm interested to see if this will actually work. If we just leave it as that. And no, it doesn't. So what other steps do I need? Let me see something. Wait, let me see something. Hold on. Mouse entered. Let me see. Can we log something real quick? Just debugging something real quick. Because I think I'm missing something. Let's see. Mouse entered, because I don't know if this content layer is actually working. Because I don't know if I tested this in the previous video. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Did you see that? Like, we had that cursor update, like, for a split second, though. Yeah. This actually got called. Actually, let me see something. nslog cursor updated. Cursor update called. Let's see if this is actually being called. So rerun this again. And let me see. It's not. Wait, now it did. Cursor update called. So I'm curious as to why initially when we run this it's not being called. But then when we entered and we leave, when we leave and exit, the cursor somehow, some way just goes back to its default cursor. So I guess we need to, when we enter and we leave, we need to essentially update the cursor as well. But if you notice down here, we're only getting cursor update called, but we're not getting the mouse entered called, meaning that this is not being called for whatever reason. How do we handle this? Wait, do we? Let me see something. Mouse moved. Let's see if this one works though. So if mouse moved is working, then I do remember that I might have handled this somewhat differently. Let's see, mouse moved. So let's do a mouse moved log and rerun that program. And I'm gonna move my mouse. As you can see, we have that new cursor, the crosshair cursor. And what I'm interested in seeing is here is that my mouse moved, and I'm not getting that. Oh, you know what I think it is? Let's go back where we're creating our window. I did say that we're missing some stuff here, and indeed we are. So let's do window state slash window set or accepts first. Wait, what was it? Mouse events, something like accepts mouse moved events. Yes, accept mouse moved events. I don't know if I need to say yes. Instance accept mouse move events not found. Instance method accepts mouse move events not found. Wait a minute. So does that mean I need to add that there to the content view? No. I need to use the other one actually. Instead of accepts, I need to set accepts. Yeah, set accepts. Accepts. Can kind of spell accepts mouse events. Yeah, it's like this. Yeah, this is what I wanted. So set accepts mouse events to true. Mouse moved events to true. So now when we move, it should then take it as a mouse movement, which it's still not doing. Interesting. Set accept mouse moved events to yes. Oh wait, hold on. Maybe it's not capturing the window. So we probably might need. Let me just copy this so I don't have to retype this again. We probably might need set something called we need to make a window, the first window when we open it. So or we need to make it, what was it called? Attempts to make a given responder the first responder for the window. So make first responder to be our view because we set the content view here, yes, right? But we also need to just update it to that view, right? So I don't know if the order actually matters, but oh well, right? So let's do this. Set that to that, right? Window state view. I don't know, but let's just see. Yes. So in the console, you can see that it did propagate that the mouse movement is actually moving. So when I do move it around more and more, this will basically get called, which is good. So we actually needed to make this guy, we actually need to call this guy first and then set it to be our view. So our view can basically catch everything, and then we basically set the mouse movement events to true as well, so we can actually accept mouse movement events. The only thing that's still not working is mouse entered, and right, because it's not logging that in here. But I do remember that I needed to do something different for that, and it had to do with content view tracking. It had to do with this. The tracking area. And if I can remember something, we needed to do update tracking areas like so, right? And then if I run this, I think we might have to update this. Let me get rid of the mouse moved console logs, because now I don't know if it's actually working. But it's not working. So cursor updated called once only. So we need to update, or we need to fill in this method right here. Update tracking. How will I do this one? Do I have a function where I did this before? I don't know. I really don't know. So I guess we'll just have to figure it out, right? So how do I want to do this? Objective C. Can't I just call super? Hold on, super. So, because it should just be able to do it for me, right? So update tracking areas. Can I just call super? Might and it might not work. Let's see. Let's just see. So I'm gonna enter and I'm gonna leave. Let's see. Application launched. Cursor updates. Nothing actually got called. And then this one does not override view did terminate. View. Wait, what is going on? So when I update the cursor, some weird, I don't know what this is coming from, but I guess it's coming from this guy because it only started showing up when we added the update super. So I guess I'll have to explicitly set this myself. So I'm gonna do this. So we're gonna do tracking area because we do have a tracking area up here, which is this guy. And then we want to set that if it's not equals to null, all we want to do is self remove tracking area. We want to remove it because we're updating it, right? So we want to remove it. Remove tracking area, that tracking area itself. And then we want to basically add it again. I don't know why, but yeah, we want to remove the current tracking area. Then we update it with a newly set tracking area, because we're gonna do something like this. We're gonna say self add tracking area, and then we're gonna say it's this tracking area, whatever. So let me see if this will actually work. So both succeeded and no. Yeah, so we have to do some other things there as well. So where is it? So we can't just simply add it. Let me see what this error says. Object cannot be null. Yeah, it's null. It's null. And I believe we need to do, yeah, it is null actually. Now I'm actually realizing that it actually is null, because up here we just declaring it. We're not really initializing it, so we need to initialize. So we need to say tracking area is equals to, and I believe it was ns tracking area. We need to allocate that. That's when we're basically initializing it, but we need to initialize it with something, right? So we want to initialize it with some rect. Now I'm actually figuring, I need to, wait, do I really need to specify the type of rect? And we're gonna need some options. Owner, it can be nullable. Do we need an owner? Oh well, the owner actually can be self, because yeah. And then the user info, we don't need user info, and in fact we're really not gonna use any user info at this level, and so we don't really need that yet for now, I guess. The NSRect is what I'm actually curious about. The options is fine. I guess we'll just have to create another thing to keep track of the options. Another variable for that, but it's okay. NSRect, I'm trying to figure out that, do I need to specify the bounds, or can I get that somewhere? Because I'm realizing that when we create a window, back to where we're creating our window, we get the view, right? But our view will give us default bounds, right? It will give us the view size. Let's say, for example, you passed in the window and width to be like 600 by 400, right? Our view will be 600 by 400 automatically. Because will it be though? I think we will have to explicitly set that. Actually, yes, we will actually be able. We will have to set those bounds explicitly. Then it means up here, the view, our content view, this guy, will have bounds set to it, and then we can just take those bounds. So we can just say bounds, right? We are gonna set these bounds anyway when we're creating the window, so it's fine. We can take that from there. We can take direct from there, and then the options, NS tracking area options. What was this again? NS tracking area options. NS tracking area. Tracking area. No. NS. Huh? Wait. Hold on. Bounds, and then NS tracking area. NS tracking area options. Okay, yeah, like this. What I want to do is I want to kind of jump to this. Hey, what? I can't jump to this? Wait. Yeah, now we can. All right, so so what are these? So these are the options we have. So NS tracking area options. Oh, we need to specify which of these we want. So tracking mouse entered. Yes, I feel like we want to track whether the mouse entered and or exited. That's why we're not actually getting whether the mouse entered or exited before. So we want this flag. What other flag do we want? Let's see. When tracking is active, you must specify one of the following in the NS tracking argument. So I need one of these. I guess active in key window. Mouse smooth when the view is in the key window. Okay, so we're gonna take this guy. Then we're gonna take one from here, which is this guy. Active in key window, yes. And then we're gonna take one from. Do we need one from here? Behavior of the tracking area. These values are used in the tracking area options. You must specify any number of the following. Okay. Assume inside. Invisible rect. If set tracking area occurs in visible rect of view and rect is ignored. Okay, I guess we'll take this one as well. This one right here. And I'm thinking, what other else do we want? We want, we actually want two from here because you must specify one or more. Here we can specify one or more. Here we can specify one. Here we can specify any number. All right. So my options, let me come back here. Tracking, I'm gonna say options here. Options are, these are integers, by the way. So you can use it as like, you can use it in terms of like, you can, yeah, these are bit flags, I guess. So we say that we want it to track if we've entered or exited. So we're gonna put that in there. And then we also want owner receives cursor updates. It's because you're gonna be updating your cursor. So we're gonna take this one as well. My goodness, what is this? What is happening? Anyway, we're gonna take the NS. We're gonna keep track of the cursor update as well. And then we're gonna track when we are in the active window as well. So we're gonna put that guy in there and come back here as well. We want when we are in the divisible rect, right? Otherwise, we don't really care. Yeah. So, yeah, that's fine. And then here, we just pass in that options variable, this guy. And we need to put an S there. And we just need to close this guy. And I'm getting an error, and I believe I'm just missing this guy there. And beautiful. So if I run this, I'm pretty sure it should work now. So my cursor's outside the window, right? And if I come here, you see that we don't have any logs. So sorry about that. So if I move my cursor inside and I move it out, you'll notice that it says cursor updated called and mouse entered. beautiful. And notice something. If I move it inside, the cursor now is a crosshair, and when I move it outside, the cursor is a default cursor. So our tracking is not working, right? Because now the window can track whether we actually are inside or we are outside, which also makes me wonder if this means, so if I stop running this and we go back to our window creation, if I hide the platform cursor, so if I say platform hide, hold on, hide cursor. If I hide the cursor, will it hide it globally still? Yes, it will still hide it globally, so you can't see it except for when you're in the dock. Okay, so I guess that is the feature that we can still just rudimentarily do explicitly, so it's fine. But we now know that our cursor update is working, so instead of a crosshair, let's do a forbidden one, just to test that the options are working. And I realized that we are hiding the cursor, so let's remove this line here and rerun this again. And yes, so the cursors are updating when we exit and when we enter, so that's beautiful. However, in case that this fails, where is it? Where is the cursor update stuff? So in case this fails, we can do the updating of this when we enter. Okay, yeah, so we just ensuring that the cursor will always change when we enter the window, in case that this guy is lacking or whatever, because this guy doesn't always get called. And I'm sure you noticed the other time when I was running this, you see how it called it double here and so forth. Sometimes it doesn't get called, and so forth. So then we need this one because we've entered the window, the content view, so we want to update the cursor if we need to. Okay, right. So I guess that's the cursor update stuff. I've showed you how you can update the cursor to whatever cursor you want. Hopefully that was some valuable things to learn for macOS. What other cursors do we have here that we can test? Yeah, the drag, right? We can test to see how this one looks like. This is like a closed hand, right? This is for dragging. And then this one can be like can drop, so that when you're dragging something and then you can finally drop it in somewhere, you can basically see that like that, so you can leave it like that. It's an open hand, I guess. So yeah, okay, sweet stuff. And then the I-beam, let's see, the I-beam, in case like maybe you guys want to like code your own editors, you can have the I-beam cursor within your engine. Sweet. So we've tested that cursor stuff actually do work. I'm gonna stick with the crosshair for now. Just, you don't have to, you can actually ultimately just remove this, but I'm gonna stick with the cursor just to keep track and see that everything else is still working as should be. So let's go back to our content view, because we do have some other stuff that we need to add here. We basically keep track if the mouse is entered, so now we do know that this is working, and we do know that this is working, so no need to log any of that. Mouse moved, we know that this is also working. In fact, here is where I'm going to put a to-do, handle input. Okay, because remember, we're going to have an input system that's going to keep track whether the mouse has moved or not to give us the mouse coordinates, so we can use that here. And just for fun, actually, let's ns point, I think you can say ns point, and say position equals to event location in window, and that should give us the position of the mouse, and we can actually ns log this out to see if it actually is working. So we can do x can be I don't know if it's a float or decimal number, but yeah, let's say x, then we have y coordinate, and then we can put hold on, d as well here. Then we just say position.x and position.y, and save that, and I guess it should be a float, so it is a float point. So I guess we can replace that with a F, and then we can run this again. You'll notice that we log in the mouse coordinates. So if I just minimize, oh, not really minimize, but get that out of the full screen for a minute, you'll notice that when I move my mouse, these coordinates are moving. They are changing as well. So when I'm inside the window, they change. So if I go all the way down here, you'll see that 0, 0. Well, I can't get, yeah, that's 0, 0 there on the X. And then on the Y, it's -1. But if I move further, if I just move exactly where the window starts, the window corner, you'll notice that's 0, 0, right? And then all the way this side, that is going to be 600 by 400. Wait, 500. 600 by, wait, let me see something. What are our window coordinates? Our window width and height. So it's 600 by 480. Okay, so we're bleeding outside, and then it's basically keeping track of everything else outside the window too. I guess we can refine that to only keep track of the mouse when we're inside the window, but how long have I been recording? I can't really tell. So I guess we won't really do that in this video for now, but we do know that we're getting the coordinates of the mouse. So I'll leave this here, and we'll just put a to-do here to then take those coordinates out to our input system. And speaking of our input system, we're gonna need other stuff here as well, such as on mouse mode, mouse up informs the receiver that the user has released the left mouse button. So we're gonna have like on mouse up, then to do here, handle that mouse up, mouse down, to do, and then we're gonna need to do what else? Mouse up, mouse down, mouse moved. In fact, this is where we can test our cursor update functionality. So we can say set cursor to let's do drag, and then when we up this, then we can say sorry, let's just copy this. When we release, we can just, I don't know, we just say back to crosshair, I guess, right? So let's see something. Let's see. So I'm inside. We have a crosshair. If I click now, it should change, and it doesn't change for whatever reason, I guess. Huh. Interesting. Wait a minute. Hold on. Is this actually being called? NSLog. Curiosity strikes again. Because I think if it's not, then I need something else to make it work. Mouse up, mouse down. So let's see. So I'm gonna click mouse down, mouse up. Yes, it does work. All right, mouse down, mouse up. So those do work. However, this doesn't work. Why is that? Cursor update. I wonder how many times this is getting called though. Yeah, I actually do wonder. Because then it means I'll have to explicitly call this for now, right? Yeah, I guess so. If I really want this to work, and yes, I do have to call that. All right, so when I click and I hold, you can see we have this dragging cursor, right? And when I release, it will go back to the default, which is a crosshair, right? So yeah, so this works. This really does work, and that's how you basically go about doing this. So you just update, and then just you'll set it, then update it, right? But I'm curious if there's another automatic way to do this without having to call the update cursor. Isn't there a way to just do that every frame? But I guess that will be expensive. So I'm curious to how the operating system really does handle this. Or if there's some function that I need to call, then it will call this guy, right? But yeah. Well, yeah, that's it. So, and then I'm noticing that this is an unused variable, so we might as well just comment it out anyway, just so that we can avoid those issues. Yeah, so mouse up, mouse down. We want to say key down, event, and then we want to say key up, event, and then we're gonna say It's key down, key up, key. I guess that's all of it, really. However, again, we say we wanted to handle flags, right? Bit flags, modifier flags, like when you click Control, Option, and Command, right? Yeah, so we're gonna handle that. For now, let's just do this. Let's just see what key presses we have. So key down, and then we want, basically, we can say, let me see. I guess we can just get the code, D event, and event key code, like so, right? Key down, that's the key code. Yeah, so let's test this out real quick. So when I press W, it's gonna give me the key code 13. Okay, W key code 13. So W is 13, E is 14, right? So there's something interesting that I want to now show you. So we have this keyboard reference here for macOS, right? W is 13, E is 14. As you guys can see, I'm getting those numbers propagated successfully right here, right? However, we don't want to reference our keys in this way. So I do remember that in my other engine, my Vulkan engine, I do have key mappings, right, for this. So these here they are, right? They're in hexadecimal. They're in hex, right? They're in hex. So, but we're gonna copy this, right? And within our engine that we're coding on stream here, well, let me not say stream because I'm not streaming, but in the series, we're gonna have our input system use our own keys as well. So we're gonna create a new file, and it's just gonna be a header file. So, oh, and for those who are still wondering how I got the C23 stuff here, I just did it, customized my own header files and everything. So yeah, that's how that's working. But you can just do it the normal way. So this one will be our input types, right? Input types dot h, and yes sir. So then I'm just gonna paste this in here, and then I'm gonna save it. It has key mappings for everything, right? Well, yeah, is key mappings the right word? But anyway, we have keys from A to Z, numpad from 0 to 9, keys from 0 to 9, and then F function keys from F1 to F20, and then we have escape, space, tab, return, enter, delete, up, down, left, right, and then we have page up, down, left shift, right shift, control, option, command, caps lock, and then the FN key on your Mac keyboard. Okay, so these are Mac specific. Because we building this on Mac, and it will be a Mac first engine, so do keep that in mind. Mac specific keys, okay? Mac specific keys. And I'm sorry if you guys can hear the back noise. My housemates are making or playing music. So in fact, I really don't know how loud that is. So what I'm gonna do is just gonna, hopefully this will reduce the background noise, but it will reduce my voice as well, just because I don't know how loud they are currently. But I guess I can try and test this. I'm sorry about this. Okay, I guess you can hear too much. I was just listening to my input here, so I guess you can't hear them too much. But I'll just reduce the gain. Hopefully my voice is still audible. But anyway, as I was saying, these are Mac specific keys. So do keep that in mind. Some of them might translate to Windows. I'm not sure just how much of it, but yeah, just keep that in mind. And then in our platform in our platform implementation for macOS, I'm gonna do an import here. And again, if you guys can hear my housemates, I apologize. I can hear them, but I'm not sure how much of their voices can come through my microphone. But if in case you do hear them, I do apologize for that. I don't have control of that. It is 10 a.m. So yeah, I am a university student after all, so yeah, do keep that in mind. So we want to import our input types here, and we want to make use of that, right? So let's see, what is the input things that we're doing? Where are we? Oh yeah, key down. So we want key down here, and we get in the key code, right? So what I want to do is I want to see something. I want to say if event key code equals to key, let's say key W, because that's what we were having before. So if key W, then we want to do nslog. Let me just copy paste this to save time. We're gonna say nslog W key was pressed, right? Just so that we can test that our key bindings are actually correct, right? So let's see. So I'm gonna keep the key down one as well there, just for debug purposes. So I'm gonna move this to the side real quick. Then I'm gonna press on W, okay? Then it will say W key was pressed, key down is 13, and that does definitely map to W if you look at this mapping here for the keys on macOS, okay? And then, where's my window? Then I want to press E, and when I press E is 14, and notice that this doesn't hit, it doesn't say W key was pressed. That's because W was not pressed, E was pressed. So I can actually just change this to E, then we can say E key was pressed. So let's test that out just so that we can make sure that yes, our key mappings do work. So E key was pressed. Yes, sir. All right, lovely, beautiful. So we can now use our input types here instead of relying solely on the key codes provided by the operating system. Yeah, so where this will actually become handy is when we start handling modifier keys. So you'll notice that I'm going to remove this now. I'm going to rerun this now, and I'm going to do something. I'm going to show you something, right? I'm going to press Q, I'm going to press W, I'm going to press E, I'm going to press R, and you'll notice they're getting, you know, locked out, right? I'm going to press spacebar, and you'll notice I'm getting 49. And if you look at the mapping, spacebar is 49. However, now, the problem is when I press something like control, see, I'm pressing control, I'm literally just spamming it, but nothing is being logged out. I'm pressing the option key, nothing is being logged out. I'm pressing the command key, nothing is being logged out. And then I'm also pressing the shift key, and nothing is being logged out. So that is a problem, okay? And I'm going to show you how to handle that. I really don't know how long this video is, but I feel like continuing. But before I continue, my housemates are playing music again, so let me just hear if some of that is coming through. So I am going to pause talking for a minute. This will not be cut out of the video, so I'm going to pause in 1, 2, and 3. Alright, I'm not sure if it's coming through, but it's pretty loud for me. My human ears. Alright, cool, fine. Let's continue. The way that we're gonna do this or handle or log command keys, option keys, and shift keys, you know, the modifier flags, is Xcode. macOS has something called, forgot what it was called, flags changed. Okay, so when flags are changed, this occurs when we basically click in those flags, right? Those shift, option, control, command, alt keys, you know what I mean? So I'm just gonna say log mod key pressed. All right, so now is that I'm gonna click Q, W, E, and R and T. Then I'm gonna click control, then it's gonna say mod key pressed. And notice how it's probably getting twice. That's because when you click it and you release it, it registers that flags change, because these flags you can actually like click and hold them and then click like another key like W or something, right? And you see that it says key down is 13, and when I release the option key, you see mod key pressed, it just basically just tells you that you've unpressed it, right? For us, we're just saying key pressed, even though we know that when I firstly click it, it's gonna click out and be saying command key pressed and then released, right? So it registers that event, or it calls that event twice, right? Once on click and once on release, right? So yeah, okay. So now let's sort of like figure out what command keys are actually being pressed here. Okay, so to do that, it's pretty easy. So mod key pressed, and I'm just gonna print out the code that was pressed by that key, that is actually returned by that command or key or whatever. So that's a decimal, I guess. So I'm gonna say event key code. So let's run this again. Let's see something here. So I'm gonna move this guy up here. I'm gonna click on command key, and it's gonna say 55. So is the command key 55? Yes, it is right here. So the command key is 55, option key is 58, and control key is 59. So let's verify that. Okay, so my window, where is it? So I'm gonna press command key again. That's 55. Option, that's 50. Well, option key is 58. So let's see. Option is 58, control is 59. So let's see if we get a 59 for control. So I'm going to click control, and yes, we do get 59. So we now know that those are the keys that are being pressed. Okay, so now that we do know, we can do something here to handle that, right? So what I'm going to do is, wait, let me see something real quick. Yes, okay. Another thing is, when I click the command key on my left, we have 55. When I click the command key on my right, we have 54. And if you look at the mapping, on your left is 55, on your right is 55. But when I do it, instead of getting 55, I get 54. However, the reason why these have the same is theoretically, command is command key, right? But sometimes you want to know whether you're clicking on the left side of the command key on your keyboard or on the right side command key on your keyboard. And you can handle those separately instead of handling it as one command key, right? So hence, if you look at my input types here, I have left command and right command, left option and right option, left control, right control, left shift and right shift. That's because you can handle them differently. As much as this is a shift key, and as much as this is a shift key, sometimes you just want to handle them separately. Have some logic there that says, okay, if I have the left shift key selected and S at the same time, do this. Or if I have the right shift key selected and key L selected at the same time, do this, right? And you just want them to do separate stuff, right? Or if they all map to the same thing, like if you have the left shift key and an S key selected, do one thing, but if you have the right shift key and S selected, do a different thing, right? Even though S is common, they will do different things, right? So you can set that up differently. So yeah, so that's why. And that's one thing that you can also keep in mind in case you didn't know about that. Yeah, so let's see something now. So how do we handle this? So how do we handle command flags, modifier flags, I mean, mod key flags? The way that I want to do this is I want to do something. I want to check which keys being pressed, right? So I'm going to do event key code. If the event key code is equals to let's start with shift. So let's say key left shift. So let's do left shift. If left shift is being clicked, we want to do something, right? So again, key left shift comes from our input types. It's not an operating system specific thing. So if I just click on this, it'll take me to where this is defined, which is defined in my input types, which I just moved in if you were not paying attention. So key left shift. So if the key code is equal to key left shift, then we know we're pressing on the shift key. Okay, And then the other thing now that we need to do is that this event, right, throws in a modifier flag. Okay, hence why this is being called twice. You can see that we have 54, 54. It's being called twice. That's because when you press it, it's currently being pressed, right? And when you release, it's then released. So in order for us to get that mod key that's being pressed, that modifier flag, the value of that flag, we can do, I guess we can do an nslog just to log it to see what I mean. Show you what I mean actually. So nslog, and then this will be mod flag, and then this will be a D, and then we're just gonna say event modifier flag. Okay, and then string literal must be prefixed with an and sign. Yes, I just missed that, sorry about that. Underlying should be an LU, so let's just fix that real quick. Okay, let's get that back running. So I'm gonna press A, and it's gonna be 0 because A does map to 0. But now, because we have logic to detect the shift key being pressed, I'm going to press on the shift key, the left key. Okay, so I'm gonna press it, and boom, what do we get? So we get a mod flag of 131330. Okay, then it's gonna say mod key press is 56, which is the left side of the shift key on your keyboard, and then it's gonna say mod flag is 256. Now this is where, again, when you press on your modifier key, it first registers it as a click, which is this one here, and then when you release it, it registers it as a released key. So then the flag changes. Okay, so yeah, that's how that works. Okay, so what we want is we want to check, okay, yes, is the shift key pressed? Yes. Okay, and is the flag that we want, that which is pressed, the shift flag, right? Yes. If it's so, then we want to register that as a shift key. Okay, so let's do that. So we want to say if, okay, event modifier flags, the flag being pressed, right? If that flag being pressed, okay, is right, and I believe we can just say ns. This is an event, so I think it's gonna be within event, ns event modifier flag. Yes, we want one for modifier flag. We want one for, let's just keep on typing this, modifier flag. We want one for the shift key. Okay, so yeah, so if, so what I'm saying here is if the operating system gives us a modifier flag, right, meaning that some key is being pressed and it comes with a modifier flag, in this case being meaning if the key being pressed is shift, and the operating system gives us a modifier flag being currently active, right? We want to check if that currently active modifier flag belongs to the shift key, right? And if so, right, we want to then do something with that, right? So in this case, we want to say nslog shift key pressed. Okay, so if I run this now, I'm gonna press on the left shift key, then you'll notice that up here we say modifier key flagged, right? And then we basically have a shift key pressed, and then we have the shift key being released, right? And then it also shows us the released modifier flag. Okay, now there's a problem with this, so I'm gonna get rid of this because this one here is kind of confusing me. So I'm gonna rerun this again, and I'm gonna click on my shift key. Okay, and you'll see that again two things are happening, the pressed and then the released event. So I'm gonna click it again. Now you'll see that we're having the pressed state, and when I release it, I'm gonna release it right now, you'll see that we're gonna have, okay, it's now being released, and here is that released flag. value. Okay. So yeah, that's how that works. So now we know that now that we know what key is being pressed, we can basically decipher this, right? And be like, okay, we now know when I'm pressing the left shift key, this is what's gonna happen. It's gonna tell me that shift key is pressed. But what happens when I click on the right side? So when I click on the right side, I just literally clicked on it. It's nothing is happening. Okay, so this is where I'm gonna put this back up here again, just so you can see that I am pressing on the other side, but nothing is happening. So I'm gonna click on the left first, then you're gonna see that stuff are being logged, but I'm gonna click on the right side, and you're just gonna see that the key being pressed is 60, and the key being released is 60, right? So it's not basically registering the right shift key. So how do we register that as a shift key as well? Well, it's pretty simple. Just copy paste this, right? So just do this. Instead of just checking if the left key is being pressed, you can then also check if the right key, the right shift key is being pressed, right? So now when I run this, and I move this up, just hold on, and I move this up and I click on the left side, it'll see shift key pressed, and when I click on the left side, the right side, it'll also register that as a shift key press. So that's how you do that. But yeah, that's how you do it. So we just taking this knowledge or this concept, all we can do now is just do the same for the command key, the flag, the option key, and the flag control, the control key. Keep on getting, what is this? I keep on getting messed up with this. But anyway, we have the shift key. So shift key being pressed. Then we have the right key being pressed. The shift key. So let's do command. So now we're gonna handle the command scenario. Then this will be command key pressed. Okay, command key pressed. Oh, I actually forgot to change this. This should be command. Yeah, that should be command like that. And then this one will be the option. And then here should just be option. And then also the option on that side. So we have shift, command, then we have option, then the only one remaining is the control. So let's do that. So I'm going to change this to control, and then this should be control, and this should be left. I'm sorry, left control, like that. And then this should say control key pressed, option key pressed, command key pressed, shift key pressed. Now we are sort of taking into account the left side and the right side, left side and the right side, left side and right side, left side and right side. You could just figure out, or you could, if you wanted to handle it separately, you could do that as well. So I'm going to click on the shift key. Actually, I want to get rid of something here. I don't need the mod. I don't need to log this anymore because it just clutters up everything. And this one as well. So I just want to see what key is actually being pressed. So move up here, shift. So shift key is being pressed. I'm going to press on control key is being pressed, and I'm going to press on option key pressed, and then I'm going to press on control command, and then the command key is being pressed. Then I'm going to go on to the right command key, and command key being pressed. I'm going to go to the right option key, and yes, it's going to log that out as well. I'm going to click on the right shift key, and that also gets logged out to the console as well. So that is beautiful. So now one thing I'm going to test now is I'm going to click on control, and I'm pressing it. I haven't released it yet. Then whilst I'm holding control, I'm going to click on shift, right? And then you'll see that shift also gets registered. Okay, and then whilst I still have shift selected, I'm going to click on a random key, let's say W, and then key down 13 is being pressed, and then I'm gonna let go of both my shift and my control key, and that's that. So all the keys get pressed, and everything when they get pressed, we do have logs for that. So yeah, so this is how you do this. Yeah, and then one thing I want to do is if this is not the case, okay, then the key is not pressed. Okay, yeah, the key is not pressed. Okay, so unpressed or something like that. Shift key unpressed. Okay, so let me run this and see if that actually happens. So I'm gonna click on a shift, then I'm gonna release it, then it's gonna say shift key unpressed. So this is the logic you can handle your modifier keys with. So I'm gonna do the same here as well. Else I'm gonna do this, key unpressed, forgot an E, and then else here as well, option key unpressed, and then we're gonna do one for this one here, control key unpressed. So when I run this now, you'll be able to see. Okay, so I'm going to click on shift, then I'm going to click on W and leave W alone, and then I'm going to unselect shift. Well, I'm going to release shift, and you'll notice that the operating system detects that and gives an event for that. So shift key unpressed. And then I'm just going to do the same for the control key, the same for the option key, and then the same for the command key. And I'm going to do that for the right command key, the right option key, and then the right shift key, and that actually works. One thing to do the caps lock. Oh, let's do caps lock. And when I click on caps lock, I get some weird issues here. Yeah, so let me just click on key A or whatever, and then I click on my caps lock. My caps lock is failing. So my caps lock is failing. So I guess we'll also have to handle that situation. So how would I do that though? Which is pretty interesting. How would I go about doing that? Let's see. What key press is that actually? Let's go up here. I'm gonna click on caps lock. That's 57. So caps lock is 57. And in my input types here for keys, do I have caps lock? Yes, I do. So we can also handle that situation before I forget. So we do have caps lock support. So let's do the same thing. So here we can do if key is caps lock. We can just let this go like so. And then we can say caps lock key pressed, caps lock key unpressed. And here it'll, ooh, do we have, yes, we do actually have the modifier for that. I thought it was gonna be some weird thing that I had to do, but actually it just works. That's sweet. So now let's test out the caps lock key. In case you guys wondering what I mean by caps lock, I mean this key right here, right? Shift, and then you have caps lock, and then you have tab. So yeah, so let me click on the caps lock key, and caps lock key unpressed, and caps lock key pressed. The reason why it says unpressed is the caps lock key actually works differently than the rest of the keys, because a caps lock key has state. At this moment, my caps lock key is on, meaning I have capital letters on, as you guys can see. This basically illustrates that my caps lock key is on. So if I type, I'm going to type in capital letters right over here, right? And then if I turn it off, right, if I turn it off, it will say caps lock key unpressed, and now when I type, it will be lowercase letters, right? You see? So the caps lock key has a different logic than these guys, so you have to make sure you handle that differently. So Do I want to handle that right now? Um, Not really. Not really. Don't want to handle that right now. But now that you do know that the caps lock key does have, a different operation than the rest. So it doesn't automatically get released when you just release the key itself. It has state. So it's either on or it's either off. Okay? So do keep that in mind. So now that we have logic for caps locks and everything, option keys and whatnot, we can get rid of all these debug stuff, and just clean up this flags changed function. Let's do this. And I noticed that I have multiple if statements. So what I want to do is I just want to condense this to else if statement. So yeah, do I want to keep that on the new line? Yeah, I guess it's fine. So else if, do this. Let's do else if. Okay, and then else if. Yeah, before I close this part, this section, I just want to note that when you click on these modifier keys, I showed you that the caps lock key has a different logic where when you click it, it stays clicked, right? And then when you click it again, it changes the state from clicked to unpressed, right? You can do the same for these modifier keys, meaning that if you click it whilst you have it held in, you can unpress it, right? And to do that, you can do it like in the following way, right? You can essentially, if you had like well, I'm not doing it right now, but you could say an unsigned long because that's what these modifier keys hold. And then you can store that modifier key event, the value for that actually, in this variable here. And instead of doing what I'm doing here, event modifier key, you can do this, right? And then that makes your if statements a little bit cleaner, like so. You could do this, and everything should work the same way, right? But what this allows us to do, let me just get everything here as well. What this allows us to do is in here, right? Let me just test that everything is still working. I'm gonna press on my left shift key, right shift key, command option, and then my right side. Okay, everything still works. All right, now yeah, so notice here when I click on my shift key and I release it, or I just tap it or whatever, it says it's pressed and it says unpressed, right? But you can control when this is happening. I so believe, whereby you can just say mod, and you can just do this. Not that actually, you can say it's an equal here, then you're gonna use your tilde. Is this a tilde? What is the name of this? Is it a tilde? Because it's actually a grave, because I feel like when I was coding this, I called it a grave key. I don't have that here actually. Wow, I actually don't have that. Okay, we'll have to add it. But yeah, we'll have to add it actually, because we don't have it, but we'll need to add support for that key. Anyway, yeah, tilde. Wait, here, do we have a reference to it? It should be on this side. Here it is, 50. Okay, yeah, I'll add it if I haven't really added it, but yeah, whatever, right? But anyway, we're gonna use this guy here, and what we're gonna do is we are just going to remove that flag, right, like this, and voila. You won't really see anything visually in the console. So if I click on my shift key and I hold it in and I release it, everything else still works the same, right? Everything else still works the same. So you won't really see a visual change here, but we essentially just resetting this back to 256, or whatever the number is, because initially we get like a big number, hence why we have unsigned long, and then when we release it, it resets it down to 256 or some number like that, right? But you could also theoretically just put it back to that normal number, and I believe maybe I believe actually, let me see if it actually changes anything. I believe, no, I'm gonna hold shift, then I'm gonna click control maybe, and then control gets registered, and I release control again. Then maybe I want to click on Z, and then Z gets registered as a key down, and I'm gonna hold on W, and you notice when I hold on W, or I hold on any other key, or R, it registers it double, or it just repeats it. And when I let go of my shift key, that works. Now I wonder if I don't do that, okay? If I don't do that, and then I press on my shift and I click on W, it still does it. So there's no real difference here, but you could do this so as well. SR, yeah, you could do this. Yeah, but you know what, I'm gonna do this because we're anyway handling whether it's pressed or not, so meaning this is actually not even useful. So we can just reset it, and then I'm gonna copy handle input, because you're gonna let our input system deal with this. So our input system will know whether the shift key is pressed or not pressed. So I'm just gonna put the to-do in here on every one of these, like so, because we are gonna revisit this once we have our input system in place. And yeah, okay, lovely. Yeah, and then you could take out this as well and store it in its own thing, but you know what, let me just do it. Event key code, like so, and then you can just replace this with key, like so. I'm just gonna copy this. Yeah, good practice, I guess, to do things this way, but you don't have to. It just depends on how you want to do things. Yeah, and again, the whole purpose of this series is to show you different ways of doing things, so now you know. Okay, right, so what I want to do is, we have flags changed. We can handle key presses, key down, and I assume this will also work because key down works. Mouse movement has been handled. Cursor update, mouse entered. There's one thing I want to do before I end this video. I feel like we've been recording for quite some time now, and that is add support for removing, what is this? Let me just show you the background to this title, and also having the ability to hide the title. Okay, so the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to come back to our platform header file here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say platform window hide title background, platform window hide the title itself. Okay, something like that, right? So to do that, let's just do it. Okay, where do I want to put it? I'll just put it down here. Okay, yeah, I'll just put it down here. So void platform window hide title, like this, and then hide title, hide title background, not, yeah, hide title background, I guess, like so. And then I do believe that I might just need to add what is this, my window, the certain window that I want to hide the thing for, right? So yeah, so I just have to copy this because this will be window specific, I guess. And then we're gonna put this here, and that's about it. Okay, now the code for this, I think I already did it in one of my engines, so I might as well just copy paste it. So yeah, because this video has been going on for way too long now, so set cursor shape, keep the order, so set cursor shape, which is right here, right there. All right, so the code for this is hopefully in this engine. So let's find it. Let's see. Set title hidden, and set title bar transparent. So I'll just have to rename that to that. And all we want to do is this really for setting the title to be hidden. So I'm gonna come back to, I'm gonna come back here, and this one is for hiding the title. So hide the title, and this one is for let me come back here, for making the title bar transparent. Okay. My bad. Let me see. Where are we? Here. Okay. So, let me see. What did I call this here? Set title bar transparent. Set title, hidden. Okay. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll use those names as well. Come on. I have so many projects that I'm dealing with. Alright, so let's rename some of this. So let's just say window set title hidden, and window set title bar. Did I say title bar transparent? Okay. Set title bar transparent. Parent. And then obviously we want to pass in some booleans here, whether it's hidden or whether it's transparent. So transparent, like so. And then I'll just copy these function signatures. For this one, we will replace this like this, and then for the other one, all we're doing essentially is this, and we're coming in here and changing that like that. And then the window that we're passing through essentially is a G window, so we can just say window, wait, what? Oh no. We're gonna have to do some casting here to get the NS window for this. Okay, guess that's fine. Hopefully it won't be a chain smash, because the logic is definitely different from what I did on the other side of things. So our G window up here has this, and it has a platform window state. Now this is actually being set. Hopefully it's set when we create the window. So state, internal window platform state, malloc, and then we have these guys, right? So I can simply just take it out of the state. So let's do window state dot hold on, NS window. There we go. Yes, so that's how we do that, like this. So gonna just copy paste this, because yeah, that's how it's done. It's a pretty simple function, so I won't really explain too much what's going on here, but it's pretty self-explanatory if you haven't really noticed. But all we're doing here is saying, okay, we take in the window and we see if it's hidden or not. So if it's hidden, we essentially say, okay, window, set your title bar to basically appear transparent. And I'm actually noticing that set title bar appears transparent, hidden. Oh yeah. Wait, hold on. Why am I doing this actually? Oh yeah, okay. Oh okay, I see. So what's happening is this set title hidden is handling the transparency for us as well. But you don't really have to do it. I only did this in my engine because there was instances where I just wanted to be done when I actually hide the title itself, because it just makes sense that way. And I'll show you this in a second. So let me just uncomment this and come back up here to the window creation. So right after we set the cursor, we can say platform set title hidden, and we're just gonna pass in the window, and then we are going to say hidden to true, and then all we're gonna do now is run this. Okay, and when we run this, you'll notice that we don't have the title, okay, and we don't have the background for that, right? The reason why I did it this way was because when I hide the title, it just kind of makes sense, but you don't have to. So you could just get rid of this lines here, and what will happen is you'll have this, right? And it's fine if you like it, but I didn't like it, so yeah, that's why I did it this way, which I'll stick with that. And now we can test the transparency title bar transparent function as well. So we can say platform my window set title. Wait, what? Where's my IntelliSense? Set title. I'm just gonna copy this. Sorry. Because my IntelliSense is not working for whatever reason. I'm gonna pass in the window, and I'm gonna say true here as well. So I'm gonna uncomment that one there. So we're gonna just set the title bar transparent, but keep the title, okay, visible. And this is how your window would look like. And I kind of like it this way. Oh, here's another issue we need to solve. I think we can just get it in this video as well. But yeah, so this is, I think I like this styling, and I think I'll go with this for my default windows. But the only issue with that, I guess we'll deal with it when we get to implementing the Vulkan renderer. But yeah, I think I'll stick with this. Kind of looks sick and beautiful, actually. Yeah, so what I wanted to do is I wanted to constrain the window size, because when we basically have the window running, the window can go all the way to 0, or the minimalistic size that it can go, which is very tiny, very small. So what we want to do is we want to set a min size to our window, so that when we resize the window, we don't resize it to such an extent that it gets all the way here, which is, it's not practical, right? So we want to at least constrict it to be maybe something like this, I guess, right? So that's what we're gonna do now. So all you gotta do is, I'm just gonna copy the window that we want to modify, and we want to set a min size to that. So set min size to that, and all we want to do is set the size, is we want to set it to, I guess the min size can be big, all right, 600 by 800. Sending an integer, again, I need to I need to make this a size, make size function. Yeah, I need to use that, and then beautiful, there we go. So that should work, and that should do what we want it to do. And now when I resize this, ooh, that's a bit too big. 800, 800, no, we want 480, okay. 600 by 480. 800 is way too big, man. So let's move this up here, and now you'll notice I can't go any smaller than this, because this is a default size, right? But I can go bigger, right? I can go bigger like this, but I cannot go smaller than this, right? But I can go bigger than that, which is beautiful. And then another annoying thing is, if you haven't noticed, the window always pops up here at the bottom. I don't like that. So all we can do, hopefully I still remember, is just say center. And honestly, you can just read what this does. Center sets the window's location to the center of the screen. So with that simple function or call there, we have a centered window. However, it doesn't look 100% centered, so we could manually set this, but I'm not going to do it for now. I'm just going to use this quick shortcut. And when I maximize, minimize, we have shift key, control key, command keys, key presses are working, enter key, tab key, shift, caps lock, everything is working as it should. Numpads are working, function keys are working, so escape keys are working. All right, so we have our window taking in some inputs like it should, which sets us now to be ready to basically set up like an input system whereby we'll actually then give these numbers names, actual names. That sounds so weird, and all of that. And then what else should we do? Input system, and what else? An event system, yes, to handle events, because we're building our own GLFW from scratch, isn't it? To basically make our engine work. So we still have a few things to do before we start up with our Vulkan renderer, but hopefully in this video we've learned quite a few things in terms of setting up a macOS platform layer from scratch on your own. As you guys can see, if you do this regularly, you'll get into that notion of like, oh, all I have to do is this and that, right? And also to keep in note that these functions are actually not going to be implemented here. We're going to actually remove these and resort to function pointers. You'll see why in the future. That's why I haven't really entertained them for now. But I just put them there to remind myself that, hey, I still have an input system to work with and to do. Window hide, window show. I see now that we don't have one for this. Yeah, I kind of forgot how to hide the window. But we'll deal with that in the next video. For now, everything is working as it should. We have a pretty good foundation now. Also, we will set up sanity checks here for if we fail to create the window delegate, if we fail to create the view, the window, just so that we have proper error handling going on there, and some proper sanity checks on other functions that we don't have any sanity checks on. And I'm just kind of browsing through to see what else do I really want to do in the next video. I guess I'll think about that off camera. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like, subscribe button for me, and do stay tuned for more videos, and do share my videos with people that are interested in making their own engine on macOS, or any other platform. But for now, I only have a macOS, so I'll only be sticking to macOS specific stuff. And because macOS doesn't really have a good community when it comes to these handmade stuff, I guess this will be the platform for that. So cheers, and I'll see you guys in the next one.